Welcome to the Safely Controlled Podcast, the show where we think we know what we're talking about, but we're still deeply confused.
That's right. We dive into the world of SCPs, those mysterious, spooky, and sometimes downright ridiculous anomalies that the SCP Foundation works so hard to keep under control.
How do they control them? Why do they control them? Honestly, we're still figuring that out. But hey, we got dice, and that's all we need to choose which SCP we're probably going to mispronounce today.
From homicidal rubber ducks to existentially horrifying vending machines, we're here to explain them to you. Mostly.
So buckle up and suspend your disbelief, and prepare to be entertained by two people pretending they know what's going on. The ship of Theseus?
The ship of Theseus, but it's bones.
But only its bones.
Why is it featured?
I've always thought about doing one of those sometimes
should
too.
do a
Just do
featured
the featured SCP that we open up on a website. I don't know if they do it like weekly or whatever, but
I'm sure.
Selected by the staff. Neat.
It's probably one dude.
But at the same time, I wanted to keep it random with the dice. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we just we come up on some crazy ass bullshit.
Crazy ass bullshit.
Last week was a little messed up, but that's fine. We don't have to keep talking about that though.
The inauguration?
What about it?
Oh, nothing. You said you didn't win.
No, you know what? That's actually a really good one. Did Elon Musk not know what he was doing when he was just Nazi saluting for like 3 times in a row?
I think it was twice. But yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He's a crazy person.
He's rich beyond fucking belief. He's nuts. He's money rich.
Oh,
he's money. He's
on
money
the
crazy.
First day, it's the first day, and he's already just being Elon. This is great. It's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be a next fun 4 years.
Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sitting here playing games while I had it on the TV in the living room, and like they're like swearing him in,
mm-hmm.
and I just keep doing the accordion thing that he does with his hands, Trump, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Because I remember thinking back in 2016, on how crazy it was that he was becoming the president. And then we could have, like, if he would have won 4 years ago, he would be done now.
Yeah, he would be done now, but so would we.
It's been, more than 12 years of Trump in politics, and it's super funny to me.
But see, like...
It's still bizarre.
It's not bizarre to me, because when I was a kid, growing up in New York, guess whose face was on TV practically all the time?
That's true.
Donald Trump. I've seen this bastard my whole life, and
you can't get away from him.
Well, it's almost over now. I mean, he's got 4 years and he's done. Well, supposedly.
What, is he changing the rules now?
We'll see. There's speculation.
I did think of something earlier that we could honestly discuss. That's not going to raise your blood pressure.
Oh, you're right.
I wanted to, because I've just been kind of, going through some different games, trying to figure out something else to make content on.
Yeah.
And I thought about using the Switch, because we recently got a Switch, and I was thinking about hooking that up and recording whatever I could. I wanted to play some of the older games too, and then I thought about it. What would have been your first video game?
Oh, an Atari 2600. Oh. I was in second grade, and I remember putting money aside for it. And I remember putting money aside for it. And whenever I don't remember. I mean, I was 9 years old, and I remember.
You were 9 years old putting money aside?
Yeah, because I wanted it, and my family knew it.
What were you doing in New York to?
Oh, no. It was like oh, I'll sweep the kitchen for you, Grandma, if you give me 50 cents or something. It was like that. I was like, I didn't really work.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was just putting whatever I could aside, and I
could see you delivering papers on the streets of New York for some reason.
No, I would never do that.
No paper delivery ever? I never did it.
I mean, there was there was newsstands everywhere when I was a kid.
Okay, so
it's fucking New York, dude.
Was it where the fuck are you from?
Queens.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I was born in Brooklyn, and I grew up, I half grew up in Queens and half grew up in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
The way I look at it, because I was 14 when I came here.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, but yeah, paper. No, there was no paper routes when you were a kid in New York. At least maybe suburbs.
That honest, yeah, I was gonna say it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because all the what are they called anyway?
What?
Is it? It's just called a newsstand, or what was I
Yeah,
thinking? Like a gazebo or something?
No. Oh, you thinking of not pagoda, and those are just all the little grocery stores everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's not pagoda. There's another word. I can't think of it right now. But yeah.
So an Atari
2600.
What was on that?
Oh man, asteroids, Pac-Man. I mean, everything.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it? The one. Oh my god, I can't even remember the names of the games I used to play when I was little. The one where the alien centipede.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Centipede?
Yeah.
You had to shoot Centipede before he got down to that, and then
Like the old arcade games were on.
Yeah, it was a lot of old Jungle Hunt.
Okay. Dig Dug.
Maybe.
Ever played Dig Dug?
Yeah, maybe. I remember something like that. Qbert was on there.
Yeah.
And Yar's Revenge. I played that game. It was a horrible game, and I remember the graphics were hideous compared to. I mean, obviously it was 8-bit, but there was I was so good at that game that I could just zone out, and my hands would automatically just do the moves, and I would avoid everything, and I would just shoot everything and never get hit. It was a pattern.
Yeah, that's a pattern. What I was actually thinking about while you were talking. Have you ever heard or seen a movie, Adam Sandler, and it's like a bunch of fucking video games? Pixels. I think it's called Pixels.
No, but wasn't there one that Ryan Reynolds was in that was similar?
Yeah, but that was more along the lines of like a free world, like Grand Theft Auto type thing.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I just popped the mic stand right out of the socket, and I'm holding this big boom arm, and Matt's just looking at me like I'm an idiot.
What it is they send like a fucking videotape or something into space, and then aliens find it, and then they basically make these games. They make a bunch of games that everybody needs to play in order for them to win, and if they lose, then they're going to destroy Earth.
Oh.
So they have to play Centipede.
Okay.
With like actual guns.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
They have to play. They play Pac-Man. Pac-Man's following them, and Pac-Man's technically the bad guy, and they're the ghosts.
They're the ghosts,
and they're driving these fucking Mini Coopers through the streets.
Okay,
it's super fucking cool.
Is there a way to watch it and get Adam Sandler cut out of the movie?
What's your problem with the Sandman?
Don't get me started.
Okay, never mind. That's actually a first for me.
Why?
I've never heard of anybody that doesn't like Adam Sandler.
That can't stand Adam Sandler?
You can't stand him.
Oh my! As soon as he starts talking, I got to change the channel.
Oh, that's a different one. Yeah, I'd never heard that before.
You don't there aren't people that you that are famous that you just why the fuck is this person famous?
For the longest time, Kevin Hart used to be the most annoying fucking person to me on the planet.
He still is, but he's funny.
I thought that his shit was just being violently shoved down my throat. I could not stop seeing him in everything. He was just in everything, right? Which I'm not saying that he still isn't in everything, but he is constantly around, and it just drives me fucking nuts. I kind of got used to him. I'm not saying that I'm a real big fucking fan. It's gotten worse recently because he's kind of everywhere.
He is everywhere.
I guess I have the same thing, but I don't turn him off either. If he's there, I'll...
you roll your eyes.
I'm oh, here's this guy again.
Okay.
Of course, he's still here.
Yeah, and he ain't going away, I don't think.
No. I mean, he's kind of funny. I'm not saying he's not funny, but
I could take it. He was, for me, he's like Robin Williams. I could take it little chunks.
Now you're going down a different path. What's your problem with Robin Williams?
I can only take him in little chunks.
I liked Robin Williams' movies and his roles and what he did. You ever try to watch his stand-up?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Robin Williams' stand-up is fucking... That's something different. I can't... that I can take in small doses.
When he would just just keep on going and going. It was like nonstop. He was cracking one joke after the next.
Yeah.
After about 2 minutes.
Yeah, bro, breathe.
Oh, right. And after about 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm good. That's all. I mean, he was a brilliant guy. Sad what happened to him. All that stuff. I'm not trying to talk trash on the guy, and I'm not really trying to talk trash on Adam Sandler. I just don't enjoy the personality or his work, but that's fine. I mean, I did when I was a little younger. I remember buying his first comedy album.
Who, Sandler?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. The Cock and Balls skit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mom, where's the suntan lotion? It's under the chair, baby. Are you gonna loop up your cock and balls and whack it for a little bit?
That's it.
No, I was gonna just put some on my face so I don't get sunburned. Smart thinking, honey. And while you're at it, slap some on your brother's ding dong and smack around his nuts for him.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That got back in my head real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the video game thing.
Yeah, what?
Because I was gonna say something about the Switch. And hooking that up because I have a thing.
Switch 2 now.
Not yet. In a couple months or whatever.
Oh, it's not out?
No. And the specs for it are like ridiculously bad. So that thing pulls out of the little dock thing that fucking sits there and plugs into the TV. And you can play it handheld.
Right.
Those things like slide and clip on. The new one is like a 4-prong thing that just clips in like that.
Oh, yeah?
It looks like it's like flawed. It looks like it's just gonna break.
I gotta look at it.
There's a lot of people shitting on the new design for the Switch 2.
But once you don't really touch it after you put it in the dock, right?
No, once it's in the dock, that's where it stays. But if you wanted to play it handheld, those two controllers that you take off and then you put on another thing, I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But on there, she has the I don't know if it's an emulator, but I can play Super Nintendo games because that was my first console, was a Super Nintendo.
You can do that?
Fuck yeah, you can.
How does Nintendo let people get away with that?
So that's why it's not an emulator, because that's the wrong way of putting it.
But I mean, what else would it be?
Me having access to a big library of fucking SNES games.
Oh, and is that cost?
It's through, yes, it's like a subscription that she has.
Through Nintendo.
Correct.
Oh, so it's, no, okay. I was thinking you just downloaded ROMs.
No.
And you can just play them.
Because then your fucking Switch will be banned or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
They're super.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But I wanted to go on there and maybe record like me playing like older games that I used to play, like F-Zero, Donkey Kong Country.
You know what my favorite game was to play? Not on the Atari 2600, on Nintendo. It was Yoshi's Island.
Okay.
Oh my god, I played the shit out of that. It wasn't on the N64. I think it was on the Nintendo Super. Yeah.
I don't know if I even had that one. Because that's the thing I was thinking about, is the library of games that you had when you had that console before you could like download shit and save it in like your consoles now or your computer. Because I thought about it. I probably had like 30 to 40 different carts for the Super Nintendo. It was somebody, I don't know whose console it was. Somebody gave us so many goddamn games as well. But me and Anthony played the living shit out of almost every one of those games.
What was the oldest console you ever played on?
Probably that Super Nintendo. Because I never played anything on
Never
anything.
ColecoVision. Never Atari.
No.
Never like Commodore 64 128 games on a computer. Because I played that.
I've played older computer games now that you brought that up, because my cousin used to have something old school bullshit on his PC. And this was an old computer game. I would actually have to ask him what it was.
Okay.
Something like, is the Oregon Trail, is that a really, really fucking old game?
Yeah, my God. Yeah, I played that in grade school.
Yeah, so
yeah, like I played it in goddamn grade school.
Dying of dysentery or something?
Yeah. It was like almost, it was like random. Like you'd play it over and over and over to see if you got lucky with the way. Yeah, but essentially you were a family crossing, taking the Oregon Trail all the way to Oregon, and then you can play that right now.
Like on your Xbox at your house, you can play the Oregon Trail.
How?
Download the game.
How much is it?
I don't know.
Why would I want to play a game that was text only?
I mean, they actually like it looks different. It's the same.
So they modernized
game.
it.
It's not. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not, I'm sorry, it's not the same.
It's like
game.
Farmville, where you have to, stop over the winter and plant a garden and then keep going.
I mean, I haven't played like the newer version of it, but I just know for a fact that it's a game.
Well, I remember when I got my first computer, which was in the late 80s, probably around 88, 89. It was DOS based. I think I had Windows on there barely. Windows 3.1 or something. Something super. The nerds will know what I'm talking about. And I used to play a lot of text games like Zork 1, 2, and 3, where you would just you were standing in a field, or you go right, or do you go left, do you go north, south, and you just type in S or N, and it takes you to the next text prompt.
This has nothing to do with video games, but this is something that just like kind of popped back into my mind. It's a tech thing that I want to say that was a thing when like dial-up internet just came out.
Yeah.
People had this thing. I want to call it web TV.
No, it was a bulletin board system. It wasn't like a web TV. Are you thinking of the internet service providers that you dialed that it was like a gateway program that took you to the internet? Or
you got a keyboard.
Yeah.
That you can like talk to other people through the fucking.
I vaguely remember that.
It was basically like what texting is now.
Yeah.
But you used the internet and you had to, like, you were talking to other people that had the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was, and then
web TV's not correct.
No, I know what you're talking about. But then there was this, ICQ. If anybody, it had a little flower for a logo. It was basically like the first chat type program for a computer.
Dial up chat.
So as he's looking that up. Anybody that wants to contribute, that I'm sure that our what's the word I'm looking for?
I was about to
demographic is younger as opposed to older.
Ever. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But put in the comments, what was your first video game system, or like what do you remember playing fondly when you were a child? Because that'd be cool to talk about. And then we could talk about, stuff you guys mentioned in the next podcast.
I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna source out and ask the question to the person that I know that had one. Scott had one, and I want to say my aunt also had one of these.
What's Scott doing?
What is Scott doing?
Mm-hmm.
Probably currently working. I would say that he's currently working.
Can you text him at work?
Scott works at home, I believe.
You can.
Yeah, that's why I'm texting him.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Oh shit. But I'm going backwards, and I was saying something about the gaming libraries and what they used to be, because you used to have, like I said, like I had like maybe 30 to 40 different carts for the Super Nintendo, and then once like Laserdisc became a thing, you started playing games like on PlayStation. The first PlayStation were discs.
Yeah, the first PlayStation. Yes.
The first Xbox discs.
Yes.
And then I want to say by the 360 you can download games. I don't want to say it was the PS2. It was definitely the PS3. So 360 and PlayStation 3, you can download games and then just store them in your hard drive in your console.
But weren't there video one? I remember there were games that had like a memory card. Was that the save games?
Yeah, the memory card was the save games. That's why that was like PlayStation 2 memory cards. Holy fuck!
What? Did he write you back?
No, yeah, he said it's web TV.
Oh.
Holy fuck. Did I nail it?
I don't remember you saying web TV once.
I said, what? Fuck you.
I don't remember it, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, web TV is a service that allowed users to access the internet on their television.
Oh.
It uses a decoder and a special remote control, which the remote control was just a fucking keyboard.
Yeah.
MSN TV, formerly web TV. So, oh my god, okay, wait a minute. Now I'm showing you this picture. Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like an old TiVo box.
I hear that. Anywho, libraries of games and stuff like that. The physical copies of games that don't exist anymore, but the amount of games that, like, I could go into my console and like my own games, like a ridiculous number.
Like
I have so
like
many,
a Steam library.
Yeah, like I have so many goddamn games in my Steam library.
Me too. Everyone does because most of them are free. Well, unless you paid for them, or if there's like a Steam sale. And
I was thinking about downloading a couple of games here on the computer just to play something different. There's a game that's been out for damn near 2 years now. It's called Contraband Police, and you're like border patrol. Like they're coming through the gates, and then you got to check their forms, make sure that everything matches here correctly. Like, there's any regulations, are they allowed to go through because of their car? You have to check the weight of the car. You got to check every surface of the car to make sure that they don't have any fucking drugs or money.
Do you have to like put a mirror under the car like they do on smugglers shows on TV?
I didn't see that part, but you get a flashlight where it's like a UV light, so you can see like the markings that are on like the doors or the tires or something like that. It just like it seems super fun. I've seen countless creators play it, but I want to play it myself just because it seems like something that I would fucking enjoy.
And it's a Steam game?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the thing, is like it's like $30. And I'm like, I don't want to spend so much goddamn money on this. Please go cheaper. And then it just hasn't been getting cheaper at all. And I'm like, all right, well, I might cave.
Well, I mean, $30 isn't outrageous.
And then there was one that was like a bundle for like an extra $10 or something like that. I would be getting Crime Scene Cleaner, which is like a simulator game. But
that does not sound fun.
No, it seems so goddamn pleasing, because there's a game on Xbox that I will recommend you, because you'll be like, this looks boring as fuck, and then it's just becoming satisfying. It's called House Flipper.
Okay.
On Game Pass, you can play the first one for free right now.
Okay.
But basically what it is people have like shit whole houses. Now you can buy homes yourself and go and do shit afterwards on your own. But
you're saying them first.
You take some contract jobs, right?
Yeah.
People hire you. You go into the fucking house and it looks like shit. You clean it up. You put paint on the walls. You buy some furniture and shit like that. You make it look nice.
It just doesn't sound fun.
It doesn't sound fun. And
it
then
sounds like a task.
And then when you do it, it's kind of fucking satisfying. Like, you're just sitting there going, this is actually really nice. Because it's something that I used to play when I fucking needed time to sit there and listen to a podcast on my own. Like, I would take 20 minutes, just be like, all right, I can do this real quick. And it's just like, I'm just sitting there. You paint the wall real quick and you upgrade it so it goes super fucking fast. And then and then with the crime scene simulator, it looks like you're doing almost the same thing, except you got to clean up this guy's brains and put it into the bucket. And then you scrub the blood off the floor.
I don't want to do any of that stuff. In real life or even a video game.
Oh, it seems like so much fun.
I don't know. Oh, I mean, I'd have to check it out. But
I'm jonesing. All right.
We're going to roll. Oh, hey, maybe the site's back up now.
Fuck that. I already have them in my hand.
All right.
So before, when I was setting everything up, normally we use D&D Beyond, the app on the computer, to roll the dice for me. But the site was down, so I have physical dice. I have 4 D10s in my hand. First number is a 2. Second number
is on the floor.
Is a 0. 2, 0, 1. Oh, wait, that's a 7. 207. 2070. The Fingers of God.
Oh, boy.
Keter class.
Pardon me. Special containment procedures. Due to their apparent omnipresence, containment of SCP-271 and 2 is focused on suppression of knowledge. Disinformation campaigns intended to discredit and or totally drown out anyone who reports discoveries of SCP-2071 and 2 are to be maintained at all times. These campaigns consist of 2 components: a barrage of variously plausible but false claims, extensive debate regarding these claims which tends to expose the claimants as fraud. Mobile Task Force ETA-121, Navel Gazers, is responsible for collecting and subsequently sabotaging all relevant cosmological data as it is acquired. Members of MTF-ETA 121 are to report their findings to embedded Foundation agents who have assumed leading roles in modern theoretical and observational cosmology. These agents are responsible for formulating and advocating for the standard cover explanation. Astronomers who persistently report findings inconsistent with said cover explanations are to be administered Class B amnestics and have their research altered to conform to consensus.
What?
Extraterrestrial activity on Earth is to be monitored for knowledge of SCP-2071 and 2. Any confirmation of such knowledge is grounds for implementation of Protocol 167, Tully. SCP-2073 is held in Research Bunker 477 at Site 280. 2. Armed guards.
I hate you.
Well, I just want to make sure people know it's 2. 2. Armed guards are ready to be posted outside the bunker at all times to prevent unauthorized entry. Requests for study have been suspended until further notice or until Protocol 167 Tully is enacted. In either case, proposals for experiments must be submitted to Site Director Arnheim no fewer than 24 hours prior to the requested time. The bunker is to be monitored at all times by 1 Level 4 research staff for anomalous tachyon emission. Any such activity must be reported immediately to Site Director Arnheim and MTF-ETA 121 Leader Rose. Following the experimentation or report of anomalous emission, MTF-ETA 121 Leader Rose is to report back as soon as possible on any shifts in the observed large-scale galaxy distribution. Research Site 79 is to observe the SCP-2072 instance in the redacted galaxy cluster following any SCP-2073 activity.
Kind of getting excited because there's multiple instances of the SCP. Why does it seem like they're just all aliens? I'm getting really excited, so I hope that I'm right. And I don't want to read too far ahead. SCP-2070 is the collective designation for several anomalies related to modern observational cosmology. SCP-2070-1 is the observed tendency of the distribution of galaxies in the universe to be elongated and pointed towards our position on Earth. This tendency manifests itself as extended lines of galaxy resembling arrows. 2070-1 instances are known in the astronomical community as Fingers of God. Public discussion of 2070-1 is to explain them as an effect of galaxies' velocities on observed redshifts on cosmological scales. 2070-2 is the observed formation of galaxies into coherent, recognizable pictographs and symbols. Examples of SCP-2070-2 instances include a stick figure representation of a human being, a miniature depiction of the sun and its 8 planets, as well as several of the larger Kuiper Belt objects and 2 as yet unobserved bodies. In 3 instances, characters consist with Shang Dynasty era Oracle bone script. Rough translation of the message include, "We are kings, we are special, and we are the center." Although instances of 2070-2 are never perfectly formed, they are consistent with their identified shapes to within observational uncertainties. At least one instance of 2070-2 has been identified in each major galaxy cluster, with suspected instances in smaller formation of galaxies pending further data collection. Public discussion of 2070-2 instances is to dismiss them as random formations among meaningless noise, and only instances which could conceivably be disguised as such are to be made available to the public.
So we've got two sentences in the beginning of these paragraphs. SCP-2071 is the observed tendency of the distribution of galaxies in the universe to be elongated and pointed towards our position on Earth. So what this SCP is saying is that it is an anomaly, that this is not a normal thing to be. And they're calling this anomaly SCP-2071, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you scroll down to the second paragraph down there, it says 2070-2 is the observed formation of galaxies into coherent, recognizable pictographs and symbols.
Some of those symbols here, the stick figure,
the
sun.
stick figure. Now, is this, and I'm not trying to be controversial here, I'm saying, is this sort of like when we look at stars in the sky, we make constellations?
I see what you're saying.
So maybe they're connecting the galaxies together and making the same type of thing?
Or is this supposed to be some, like you said, obviously it's an anomaly. It's not supposed to be happening.
Right. Because it says, okay, like
distribution of galaxies that's
right. It's just saying, like, instead of us, how we connect stars together in the sky, they're connecting galaxies together in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I'm just trying to. There's a lot of lingo in these SCPs that are like, it's like legal speak. You know what I mean? They're tough to figure out. So I'm like trying to break it down. Those two first sentences in those two paragraphs are pretty important to like sort of break this down, I think.
A collection designation for several anomalies.
Yeah.
So
things they can't explain.
Everything that's happening all at once in this collective period. And this kind of reminds me of like maybe a nebula.
Okay.
Seems like to me that it's one collective space and it's just shooting out galaxies. One part of it is forming the galaxies. The other one is distribution. What was 3?
Yeah, we didn't. Well, we didn't
3.
break that one down yet. I just, like I said,
okay.
It's actually going to break it down in a second here.
Oh, here's 3 right there.
Yeah. Do you want to take it or you want me to?
Go ahead.
All right. SCP-2073 is a hinged box constructed of jade and an unidentified alloy measuring 1.0050 meters on each side and 0.335 meters tall. SCP-2073 remains locked by an unknown mechanism under normal circumstances. The top face is covered in symbols that correspond to no known language, as well as a sequence of Shang Dynasty era script apparently describing the Hubble expansion. Touching symbols on the outside of the box that correspond to instances of SCP-2072 identified in the galaxy cluster will open the box. The inside contains a layer of sand 4.672 centimeters deep. Drawing a symbol in the sand and closing SCP-2073 will cause 3 things to happen. 1. The box will emit a directed burst of tachyons. 2. The symbol or symbols drawn in the sand will manifest as an instance of SCP-2072 in a part of space along the direction of the tachyon burst. Instances of SCP-2071 in the surrounding region will appear and or become more pronounced. 3. Instances of SCP-2072 in the galaxy cluster will change to correspond to different symbols on SCP-2073. How SCP-2073 accomplished this retro-causal reorganization is unknown at this time. Further study of the effects of targeted tachyon emission in general is currently marked as a Level 6 research priority. SCP-2073 was unearthed during an archaeological dig in Province, China in the year 19... Its anachronistic markings led to it being stored as an anomalous object in the Site-230 vault until Level 4 2070 researcher identified 3 of the symbols as matching instances of SCP-2072 found in the galaxy cluster. Subsequent experimentation established its anomalous properties and its link to SCP-2071 and 2. I guess when you touch it, it sends out tachyons. Anything that you drew in the sand is will manifest as an instance.
Forgive me for asking a simple question. It's a unit of, like, so what does this have to do with time or something?
No, a tachyon is a particle.
It's a particle?
Yeah, like whenever you split atoms, tachyons get released.
Okay. I want to say it was a measurement of time or something.
No.
I wanted to say that it had something to do with
time. We can
No,
also look it up because I might not be right.
All right.
It's a hypothetical particle that always travels faster than light. Oh.
The box is closed, right?
Yeah, but the box emits tachyons in a specific direction.
3 is the box itself.
3
what
is
the fuck
box.
was in the box though?
Sand.
No, there was something else. The top face is covered with symbols.
Yeah, it's just sand in the box.
Touching symbols on the outside of the box that correspond to the instances of 2 will open the box. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you unlock the box.
Okay. I'm getting it.
Okay. Memorandum to all SCP-2070 personnel. Fellow scientists, amidst all our data, all our little daily fights with observation and analysis of the theory, I think it's easy to lose sight of the fact that science is an unavoidably human endeavor. We defend our conclusions not just because we believe them to be right, but because we want them to be right. Think of how hard physicists in the 20th century worked to keep the luminiferous ether hypothesis alive. Once you have an idea of how reality should be, it can be the hardest thing in the world to overcome. Of course, all of you know the danger of preconceptions. We as a community fought the battle against geocentrism many centuries ago. That fight gave us the Copernican principle, the assumption that there is nothing special about our location in the universe. Has since become one of the fundamental bases of astronomy. It's so familiar to us that most of you probably never think about it. The ancient Chinese astronomers had never heard of the Copernican principle, and SCP-2070 leads me to believe they had no equivalent. When our culture realized our non-central place in the cosmos, we rebelled against it, but suffered the indignity without violent objection, and have suffered it ever since. The Shang dynasty took a different approach, and altered space itself to restore their special place. Arrows pointing to us, symbols and codes and pictures, the iconography of a people striving towards godhood. But they were not gods. They did not think through their actions. The ancient astronomers didn't just leave their mark. They left a trail for every being in the universe to follow. They drew maps of our solar system, of the solar neighborhood, even rough sketches of the Milky Way. Any life outside of our own planet is bound to get a little curious about where the arrows are pointing. So far, research on the effects of SCP-23 has been conservative and measured. Just enough to establish the link to SCP-2071 and 2. As senior researcher, I and Site Director Arnheim have sought to keep our hands out of the cosmic web as much as possible. But if we find any reason to believe extraterrestrial life has followed the directions we so kindly left for them, we're going to have to take a more aggressive approach. Outlined below is our joint proposal. As always, feedback is welcome.
So, out of that,
Yeah.
he seems
Logical.
He seems like a bit concerned, destined to believe that there's something else out there. And if there's something else out there, that's where this protocol comes in, which you had brought up earlier, actually.
I did.
Extraterrestrial activity on Earth is to be monitored of knowledge of 2070 1 and 2. Any confirmation of such knowledge is grounds to implementation of Protocol
167 Tully, which we're going to talk about in a moment.
Right. The goal for Protocol 167 is to wipe away human cosmological footprint. Grounds for implementation: discovery of extraterrestrial knowledge of SCP-2070. Description: 167 is a plan in 2 phases. Phase 1, increased experimentation on the functionality of 2070-3. In this phase, Site Director Arnheim will accept research proposals which she and senior researcher Bryce may have chose to approve. Approved proposals will be given Level 7 research priority, and the acquiring of relevant astronomical data following experiments will be fast-tracked. A successful experiment is one that returns all or part of space to a homogeneous distribution. Phase 2. Reverse engineering of SCP-2070-3 with the goal of building a device capable of undoing -3's effects. As further experimentation with -3 is likely to be impossible following full Phase 2 execution, Phase 2 is to be attempted only if Phase 1 fails to produce favorable results within 5 years of research.
5.
I have no idea what a cosmic reconstruction on this scale would entail, and I'm sure none of us are eager to find out. But if it means preventing the end of the world, we have to be willing to try.
Well,
It's obviously not safe, and it seems whatever it is, it's just going to keep shooting out one galaxy after another.
yeah.
Being at place wherever close enough to us or not. They see this happening, and they need to. They want to keep an eye on it to make sure that nothing comes out of it like an enemy towards us, and that's why we're watching it. The Foundation is keeping a close eye on it, but if and when something comes out of it, that's when they have their protocols that go into effect to wipe away their footprint so nobody knows that we're here.
Right. And I think they have to quit opening it, drawing shit in there, and closing the lid, because those tachyons keep going out in space, and they don't want to draw attention to us.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we stop doing that first?
Mm-hmm. that was in all honesty for me. This one was. It took me a minute here
to read it.
Yeah, like just to fucking process it and get the image of what the actual fuck was going on here.
Right.
By the end, I think I have the general understanding,
so
like I said. But for me, not the best read. I don't mind this. It's just one of those things where it's a bit out of my
wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm not big on the space and the galaxies and all the different possibilities of what might be out there.
You know what? I have the opposite feel of this one from you. This one, I like the SCPs that make me think outside the box. And I like SCPs that make me think in a way that I don't normally think. You assume the universe to be unchanging and unmoving and just expanding, whereas this introduces the ability to change that, and tachyons coming out from us towards wherever and trying to hush it. I don't know. It was cool, and I really liked how it took me out of the box thinking wise. And I like that feeling sometimes. So for me, I'm going to rate it out of a 5. We're still doing out of 5?
Sure.
I'll go with a 4 on this one. It's not like best ever, but I mean, I was completely into it the whole time.
Me having to wrap my head around big words because I'm a stupid piece of shit. And I don't know. I'm giving it a 2, but it's the only reason why I'm giving it a 2 is, like I said, it was kind of out of like my wheelhouse or whatever you said.
That's
like
fair.
Me just not necessarily being too drawn to it. I do understand it. At least I believe I do.
Yeah. No. I think we got the gist. Pretty interesting to me. I mean, I liked it. So, thumbs up for me.
Nice. Why don't you do an outro?
All right. Well, thanks for having me again, Matt. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had a good time on this one. At least I did, more so than you. But that's cool. Please, if you're not a member of this channel, please subscribe. Like the video if you had a good time, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.